So I want to talk to you a little bit about baby wearing. I am such a fan of baby wearing, and the majority of my clients are as well. So why should you choose to wear your baby? Well, first, it's a really good way to bond. As you're getting to know your baby, having them skin to skin and touching them will regulate your heart rate, regulate their heart rate, and just promote bonding. If you are nursing your baby, that's a good way to promote milk production as well. If you have older children, baby wearing is essential. If you have a baby that needs a nap, but you don't have the time to put them down in a crib or a pack and play, then you can use baby wearing for them to nap on you. And lastly, it's a great way to get things done. I have made dinner, I have washed dishes, folded laundry, all while holding a baby. So when should you start wearing your baby? Day one. So I want to show you a few different types of carriers and how to use them. So now I want to show you how to use a wrap. These can seem so intimidating, but once I show my clients and I send them a video like this one, they feel really confident and they get the hang of it. So there will be some type of tag in the middle, and so you'll want to put the middle to your stomach. Then you spread out the sides and you want to take each side over your shoulder. So it makes an X on your back, which I'll show you right now. And like with every carrier, you don't want there to be any big twists. That can be uncomfortable and can be unsafe. So I take these two. They are a snug X on my back, and I grab all the way to the end and I tuck them in. Now, depending on your height and how long your wrap is, this will determine, how many times you're wrapping this and where you're going to end up tying it. But I'm pretty short, so I can wrap it a few times. So I go in the back. And so you can see here, I wrap it back around and I bring it and I tie it underneath here. And pull that down a little bit. So, and I tie it here and I knot it. Double knot it if you can. Some people, if they're taller or if they have a shorter sling, they might have to tie it in the back here. And that's okay. It's not a safety thing. Just depends on how long your wrap is. So now I have my baby. I am going to put him on the shoulder of what side is further out. So if this side is closer, he's on the opposite. This side is further, he's on that side. And I put him, gently over my shoulder. And depending on if you have a newborn, you can just tuck him in like this. And he can be like that. I don't find a lot of babies love just being tucked. So if that's the case, I put one leg in, and now he's a little bit more centered. And I spread that out all over his back and his butt. Then I get his other leg and pull it out this way. And I pull this over. So I'm checking to make sure that everything is smoothed out. There shouldn't be like twists. It shouldn't be loose. It shouldn't be have any like snags or anything like that. So you can see, I'll pull it down a bit. He's completely covered. His knees are bent and he's close to me. Then you take that original area. And again, if you have a newborn, you don't have to spread their legs out. You can just put them in like this. If not, you can pull his legs out. And sometimes what ends up happening, like you can see, it's a little loose here. So I would unknot, tighten it up, make sure that that's all snug, and retie it. It should fit very snug. He should feel comfortable. If your baby is hanging down, really far, then you might need to readjust. So some things that I look at are that his back is supported and my back is supported. There shouldn't be any twists. I shouldn't be feeling heavy pain in any area. I shouldn't feel like it's pulling in any area. So I spread it all out, it's fanned out, and no knots or, issues in any of the fabric. Then I'm making sure that his hips are kind of froggied. If again, they're dangling down like this, that's not really safe for his hips. Then you want to be able to see his airway. So you can probably see a little bit easier. He's not tucked in like this. Some people like to do that, but what I recommend if your baby is trying to be tucked in, flip them this way. So this is a ring sling, called a ring sling because it has this ring. And this is by Wildbird. And this is a great sling to use when your baby is able to hold their head up just a little bit. I usually tell my clients to wait until maybe like the 1 or 2 month mark before they use this one. So you have it all flat and you're holding the ring and you pull it through this. And you want to make sure that everything is flat and not tangled up. Then you will take it and put it through that second ring. So I'm separating it and pulling it through. And so this kind of combination here is what's going to allow you to make it looser, make it tighter. So I pull it out and then I kind of thread I have my thumb inside and I'm threading it out to fan it out. And then I pull it through and I want it to be straight. That makes deciding where to put it and how to make it tighter, that makes it a little bit easier. Then I push it far back to here. Then you'll grab your baby, I'll grab my doll, and I put the baby over on the other side. So if the ring is on this side, I have my baby on this side. Then if you have a newborn, you can tuck them in completely in here if you have a smaller baby. But if not, you are going to put the bottom underneath here. And I have it touching my skin. And then you let them kind of settle into it. And then you play and you pull. So I want this to be tighter, so I pull on that side. If I want this to be tighter, I pull on this side, or I can kind of go back and forth, which is usually what I end up doing. So you want your baby to either be completely in here, froggy leg, or with their legs out, their knees up. You don't ever want their legs kind of dangling there. That won't be comfortable or safe for them. So you can have them completely tucked inside like this. You can loosen it and tighten it up here so you can see what it would look like. There. So you can have them tucked inside or you can have them out. You can even, as they get a little bigger, you can start to kind of turn it sideways so they're on your hip and they want to look around and see what's going on. You can loosen it. So if you want to nurse them, you can do it that way. Then if you have your baby napping, you can cover them. If you're nursing, you can use this kind of area to cover. And what a lot of people like to do, I think it works if you want to, is tuck this here. So it feels like you have almost like a backing. It's a little bit safer. So some safety tips. You want to make sure that your baby's knees are bent. If they're straight out, that's not good for their hips. It's not good for their body. So you want to make sure that they're bent, whether they're all the way in or if you're having this go underneath. You want to make sure that their back is supported, so they shouldn't be hanging out. You want to make sure that you can see that your back is supported, their back is supported, and that you can see easier from this side. He's not squished into me like this. I would turn them and make sure that their head is like this. So you want to make sure that you can see their nose, their mouth, that they can breathe. And you want them up here, you want them close. If he's hanging down here, that's not really the safest. He might slip and fall out. So that is a ring sling, and you can look, I'll turn around. It should all be in alignment. There shouldn't be any big twists. There shouldn't be, really loose areas or too tight areas. It should be snug, but not too tight, not too loose. And that's the ring sling. And that's it on baby wearing.